Please give a big round of applause for this session. Thank you very much. ขอเสียงปรบมือหน่อยได้ไหมคะ Thank you, thank you very much. All right, so welcome back to the innovation stage right here by World Packaging Organization. You are here with me, MC Nana. I will be the host for this special and wonderful event. All right, so for this event will be held for 4 days from today's until this Saturday, right? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, shall we continue for our second session? Are you ready? You're ready, right? Okay, everyone is ready. The next presentation is under the topic post-COVID packaging trends. Before the presentation begins, so let me give you a short brief biography to the next speaker, Ms. Soha Atala, Vice President of Conference, Exhibition and World Star for World Packaging Organization or WPO. Soha Atala, an international packaging expert with extensive experience in industrial development, packaging, marketing, branding, and food safety throughout the Middle East, North Africa, and Asia. Over the past 20 years, she has provided packaging and labeling design services to more than 200 industrial companies around the world. Wow, she's very good at in many kinds of business. All right, Ms. Olar has partnered for more than a decade with UNIDO or United Nations Industrial Development Organizations. As an international expert on packaging and marketing in numerous countries, including Mongolia, Morocco, Pakistan, Jordan, Oman, Egypt, Bahrain, Lebanon, and Tunisia. Her global expertise led to Ms. Atala's appointment in 2017 as Vice President of the WPO World Packaging Organization, from which her mandate includes the group's exhibitions, conference, and World Star International Packaging Competition. And now, allow me to welcome Soha Atala, Vice President for Conference, Exhibition, and World Star for World Packaging Organization, WPO. Please
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for the introduction. Can you allow me to change? Okay. Down. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here again in Thailand, in Bangkok, at ProPack Asia. And during my presentation, we will talk about post-COVID packaging trends. Because many people think that the main trend is only sustainability, which is true, but there's other important packaging trends that consumers look after whenever they buy their products. So we're gonna discuss them today. So this was taken from Japan. When we visited Japan in October, we also saw the huge impact of COVID, and I can see also people here still putting the mask. Thank God I'm not obliged to put it because I don't like it at all. I cannot breathe well or talk well with it. So Asia is now coming out of COVID, but the COVID concerns are still there and will remain there. That's why brand owners should focus on what are really the needs and the concern of consumers when they buy their product. So what do you think the first concern is? What do you think the first concern out of whenever you want to buy a product? Mr. Pierre Pinar. Exactly. People, they want to make sure about the food safety of their product. They want to make sure, is this product clean? Maybe somebody else touched it and contaminated with some virus. And we become very paranoid with with catching viruses. That's why I guess everyone in the room have this antiseptic or the alcohol we keep on washing and spraying till we have dry hands. So it's now a concern. We are becoming paranoid with hygiene and food safety. But guess what? According to doctors, many viruses, not only corona, has decreased because of this hygienic aspect that now we are getting used to, and to clean our hand and all of this. So hygiene is really the number one concern, not sustainability. Because people think that consumers, their first concern is sustainability. I'm telling you, no. The first concern is hygiene and food safety. Food safety is maybe this food is contaminated by virus or contaminated from the packaging itself. So the first concern is hygiene and food safety. And as you can see, from country to a country, it will change. Some countries are more obsessed with the issue of the hygiene and the other are less. The second one is the shelf life. Whenever you buy a product in the supermarket, you directly search for what? The expiry date, or best before. So this is the second concern. I want to know how long can I use this product. Is it worth it? If it's for 1 week, 2 days, or especially for fragile or high sensitive product. So the shelf life is very important. And here comes the role of packaging. Because one of the most important role of packaging is to extend the shelf life. The third one is convenience. While I was in Kenya, we did an experiment. They put next to me many bottles of water, and we tried to open them. I always have this kind of frustration sometimes while opening bottled water. So convenience is very important. If whenever I want to buy chips or water or any kind of product and I face trouble or I'm frustrated how to open it and how to close it, I won't buy it again. So convenience is very important. Ease of use, how I will carry this product, how I will handle this product. So it's also one of the major concern. And for sure, durability, how the product will last, and the package, the information and other things. And see, environmental impact, it's there. But here I'm talking whenever you buy a product, it doesn't come the first thing to your mind in the consumer mind. So we talked a lot about hygiene, about the antiseptic, and I will tell you many products were not existing in the market before the COVID. Now it's they do it like a gadget, they put it in the bag, or so now the antiseptic business is growing a lot, and this hygienic aspect is going, and it will stay. It's not that COVID is, hopefully we will not have any more COVID or any other viruses, but these kind of hygiene, being obsessed with the hygiene, it will stay in the market. For example, we have Luciana from Brazil. According to Mintel, this is all the information that I'm getting them are from Mintel. Mintel is an American market research company. They do a lot of reports about consumer concern and consumer trend. So you can see they vary between the US and the Brazil, but here, for example, 74% of the consumer, based on a study made, they are obsessed of who might touch the product before them and the kind of the contamination. It's lesser in the US and in other countries. Here an example I wanted to show you in the Middle East, since I come from Lebanon, by the way. I'm based in Beirut. So this product, the Coca-Cola, they create, it's mentioned in Arabic, what is mentioned in Arabic, that don't worry, we make sure that no one has touched it before. So in Lebanon, whenever we buy this kind of can, we wash it a lot. Because why? Because you directly put it on your mouth. So now when they created this extra lid, it's like you are sure that you can directly remove it and sip from it. But some people didn't like this. Why? Why, Pierre, you think some people didn't like this lid? Some people didn't like this lid because they consider it as over packaging. as extra packaging. But consumer is the king. And Coca-Cola, which is #1 brand in the world, they are smart. And they want to respond to consumer concern. That's why they created this extra lid from foil to create comfort to their consumer. Even in the States and in Europe, Coca-Cola and other beverages, they created this extra lid from what? Because sustainability concern is higher in Europe and the US more than the Middle East. So they created this extra lid from paper. So this kind of extra lid is also protecting the surface of the can and to make you relax that you can directly sip from it. So this is an example how brands, multinational brands, are responding and changing their packaging to make their consumer relax. The second point is food safety. By food safety is how to avoid contamination of our food, how to avoid microbiological or chemical or any kind of contamination. The first thing is food grade. In the Middle East, where I come from, there's a lack of awareness on food grade. Some people think that any kind of packaging material is safe to be in direct contact with food, and it's not the case. That's why we need to make a lot of tests and a lot of certification to make sure that these kind of packaging material are safe to be in direct contact. And as Pierre was discussing before, every packaging material has its own specification and its own characteristics. That's why people ask me which is the best packaging material. I always refer based on your product. Some product, they need to breathe. They need to have oxygen. Other product, if oxygen will pass by it, then you have contamination. So that's why packaging is a science by itself. That's why you need support whenever you want to choose your packaging material and to design your packaging in order to avoid food safety issue, because food safety issue will lead to poisoning and will lead to health issue for the consumer. That's why also for food safety and shelf life, there's a lot of development. Sometimes they add nitrogen. We don't have time now to discuss them. We have modified atmosphere packaging. Many development in the packaging science to avoid food safety issue and to increase shelf life. And especially after COVID, people are more concerned to buy products. They look if the shelf life is long. That's why in milk we have different packaging material to extend the shelf life of the product. The third major trend after COVID is really e-commerce. I'm telling you now, me, personally, I'm not going to the supermarket because I got used during COVID to buy my groceries online. Before COVID, I used to go buy the vegetables, the food, everything. And now I found it very convenient. From my phone, I see them clearly with the price, with everything, with the stock, if it's there, if it's not there. So e-commerce is a major trend that increased a lot after COVID. It was there before for gifts, for electronics, for books, but not for food. People before wanted to buy their food in the grocery. But after COVID, people got used. It's more convenient. And that's why we need to develop the packaging to make the e-commerce more convenient and to make sure that the product that you ordered here, for example, we are talking about beer, glass, they are fragile. So the packaging should be designed in a way to make sure that the product will reach you in the way that you order it or in the way that you want. And it's really a challenge. Sometimes the design also needs to stand out on your mobile or on your computer. So brand owners now are designing also their packaging design in a way to make it visible also on your screen, on your iPod or whatever, how you're gonna order it online. This is an example also of the e-commerce packaging. It has to be light, it has to be frustration-free, it has to have some cushioning, it has to be easy to handle it, easy to sort it, and light and easy to disposable. So the e-commerce business is here to stay as well, and that's why we really need to take care of it, because consumers like to buy online. This is an example by one of our World Star winner that they created something. It's DS Smith company. They combined the e-commerce trend with the hygiene trend. They developed something that is called Touch Guard. It's a kind of lamination that they put it on the corrugated boxes. It's a kind of technique using the nano technology where any kind of virus will not stick. It will directly, you cannot absorb, so it prevents this coating will prevent the person-to-person contact or the transfer of any kind of viruses. So here you can see an example between e-commerce and the hygiene concern in order to avoid contamination of viruses. And this is a reality. After COVID, we have inflation. Everything has become 20 to 30% more expensive. Also, shipping costs have increased. And we are all suffering from this. So price sensitive is very important to the consumer. And now it's a burden on the packaging also industry, because from one point we want to be innovative and create nice packaging design, but from another point we need to take care about the budget, about the cost of packaging, because packaging has a cost. So really also brand owners are putting this into consideration. We cannot increase the packaging cost a lot in order not to affect the end price of the product. So also the price is very important, and that's why you can see, because of the budget issue, not because of the sustainability issue as well, many companies are changing their packaging material into less expensive packaging material. So you can see many brands that they are moving from HDPE bottle to flexible pouch bottle. Why? Because the pouch is less expensive. Second, one of the issues that I also face with World Star is the shipping cost. We ship trophies. The shipping after COVID really soared a lot. So also the flexible pouch, they are very light. So they will not cost shipping costs as much as the HDPE bottle, who are rigid, who take volume, and also they are flat to store them. So this also is another concern, the cost of the shipping, the cost of the storing. So that's why companies are changing their packaging in order to make it less expensive and also less expensive for shipping, especially when we talk about shipping and the volume and everything else. Now we come to the major topic, the trend that existed before COVID. Sustainability trend was before COVID, but now people are talking more and more about it, because some consumers feel guilty after COVID that they need to take care of the planet and all of this, but the sustainability concern was there. Now they are talking more and more about it in the media, in the press, and they are putting the blame on the packaging waste, where the blame is on us. People are throwing these garbage in the sea or in the river and the nature, not the packaging itself. And they are putting the reason on the plastic, while plastic has a lot of advantage and disadvantages like any other material. So the problem really is in littering, is in regulation around the world that are not putting big responsibility on the consumer. So we talk about it, it's a trend. It's not a trend, it's a fact. So whenever we want to design any packaging, it has to be sustainable from the structural side and also the visual, and we will see about it. And now, because of this sustainability demand, consumers are more and more aware. And as a part of paying to human nature or to Mother Earth, they are willing sometimes, some consumer, and we will see in the other slide, that they are willing to pay more for their preferred brand or product to be sustainable. So they look for sustainable packaging, and they question the brand if they are really ecological or not, because nowadays consumer, they read. They even go to the website of the company. They want to make sure that they are also environmentally, not only in their package, also in the process by itself. And as we know, government are also taking some legal action in this regard. For example, plastic bags, they are banned in many countries around the world, or single-use plastic. So there are many steps that government are taking around the world toward sustainability. So here is also another report by Mintel. You can see that many different countries around the world, they respond differently to sustainability, but most of them, I'm telling you, sometimes they all are often are ready to shift to another brand if they are not taking sustainability into consideration. And nowadays also, consumers, they like this kind of exchanging empty bottles. Some brand owners, they are doing this kind of incentive to let their consumer exchange or return empty bottles. So it's really an important trend. Here are from our World Star winners. You know, we, as WPO, we organize the most important global packaging award, and I invite you to have a look on the sample of the winners. So here I want to show you how sustainability is important. I give courses on technical labeling information, and I always say the logo should come first, because this is the name of the company. So here you can see 100% recycled bottle. It's even coming before Palmolive, which is the brand or the logo. It's very important statement that the brand owners want to communicate this to their consumer. Hey, look, we are 100% recycled. Why? Because they know that this is an important message, and they know that it's sometimes a deal breaker. When you go to the supermarket, they have this responsibility. The consumer, they want to go and buy from the one that is more sustainable, or wherever they can use recycled plastic or also other kind of sustainable packaging. Even the Tetra Pak. And here sometimes the brand owners, by using certain color or the craft, try to fool the consumer. Because I'm telling you here, the Tetra Pak, people think that it is sustainable, but you know how many material is in the Tetra Pak? More than 6 packaging material. There's foil, there's paper, there's plastic. So sometimes, I'm telling you, brand owners, by using the craft color, they think that it is sustainable. Same for the food and beverage. I also find this really a kind of misleading whenever we go and buy hamburger or salad, and we found it in a craft paper product. It's not only paper. The consumer thinks that it's paper. It's a paper with a liner of plastic, because you cannot put directly the salad on a corrugated. So here I'm telling you, by adding this liner, you are making it more difficult for recycling. Because if it was all plastic material, it's easy to be recycled. But the consumer like now the craft color and the paper color, and that's why we see this trend. This is the same. It's paper tray, but with a liner of plastic. Whenever we have more packaging material, it's more difficult for the recycling industry, because you need to separate them from one of the other. So the shift to the mono material, we as WPO encourage it a lot, because as I said, whenever you use one material, it's easy for the recycling industry. So you can see a lot of brand owner, as much as they can, because as also Pierre described in his presentation, packaging has many roles to play. The first important role is to protect and to the product, but sometimes we are obliged to use plastic or other kind of barrier to extend the shelf life. So if we can go to the mono material, it would be great for the recycling business. This is another example also for the chips. 100% compostable. They also put it before the brand because it is important for the consumer. And here also one of our World Star winner, the Smarties, they managed to shift. Here it was a complete shift to paper product. Why? Because the chocolate is dry, no direct contact with the paper. So here is an example where they can, and they shift completely into the paper and packaging. Another trend also for the sustainability, especially for personal care and household, is the refill pouches. And it's also economic because you buy it once, the rigid container, and then you keep on buying the pouches and you can refill it. And this is also, it's very trendy for the personal care, and it's also one of our World Star winner. Also, Pierre was talking about to avoid packaging. I have 2 boys, and I used to suffer whenever I used to buy for them toys. It was really frustrating to remove it, blister, and you have to cut it and to remove it. Nowadays, they are more simple, thank God. No more extra or over packaging. And this is a trend. People are really going into less and less packaging whenever we can. I'm sure you heard about this trial of the paper bottle. And I'm happy that I managed to see it. Did you see it, Pierre? I've always seen it on the internet, whenever I open LinkedIn and all of this paper bottle. And I managed to see it in Paris, in All for Pack exhibition. I couldn't take it because it was in the show like this. And then I told him I really want to see it because I know the Fabrice Pelletier. So guess what? It was not a paper bottle. It was, you see paper from outside, but you open inside, it's a plastic bottle. It's like this bag in a box concept. So also they are misleading us because all over the media you say paper bottle, but no, it's outside it's paper, but inside it's a kind of bag, plastic bag. And so I don't know how they call it, but anyway, it's still a trial. They are trying. None of these are still in the market. I managed to see it because there was an exhibition for innovation. So how can we put liquid in paper? I don't know if Pierre managed to describe the disadvantage of paper. Paper, you cannot put it with liquid because it absorbs moisture. But this is an example, I'm telling you, of the famous paper bottle. It's a bag, plastic bag, wrapped by a paper bottle. Another good example where they can shift directly to paper is for fresh fruits and vegetables. Here you can see complete shift from plastic punnets, and some countries, they banned the plastic punnets for fresh fruit and vegetables. Because for fresh fruit and vegetable, it's a fresh produce. You don't need to extend the shelf life. So you can use. And it's really recommended to use paper product and that is easily recycled and all of this. So this is an example as well where we can shift. Another example for but here also there's a controversy about this because this is not the RPC, returnable plastic crates. The returnable plastic crates might be good because you can use them and clean them. Here, for example, it's only one way you can use this one. Depending, but here you can print on them. That's why the product itself is important and the marketing positioning of your product is important. But here is also an example of shifting between plastic container and paper boxes for fresh fruit and vegetable. Another example, here is similar, by the way, to the paper bottle. Here you see a box, but inside there's a bag. And it's also one of our World Star winner, but they managed to prove that it's really good for the environment and they are using lower carbon footprint. So here they prove that it's good for the environment. But here at least they are not fooling us that it's completely paper because there's a bag inside and they are using this for many products, for juice, for oil, for wine, So, and it's really now in the market, the bag-in-a-box concept. So whenever we talk about sustainability, it's really important to have this holistic approach and not to fool the consumer, because the consumer really will go and read and will know. Whenever if they put this plant bottle in the market, whenever we will buy it, we will know that it's really not a plant or a paper bottle. The consumer are also interested in the carbon footprint, in the transportation cost, and in the production process. And also to tell you about the recycling industry, everyone talk about the recycling, but recycling also is costly. Recycling, for example, of paper, you need a lot of water, and water is one of the natural resources as well. Energy cost is also costly. So we really need to have this holistic approach, and not only to look if it's plastic or paper and all of this. And I'm telling you, after COVID, especially we have this lockdown, people tend to read more, and they are more interested to go to the brand owner website to know about their process. So we cannot really mislead them by simply shifting the packaging material and say that we are friendly to the environment. This is the famous slide that we use, all WPO professionals, we like to use it, and because I really believe in it. You need to design your packaging to be optimal packaging. As we always say, packaging is a sword with two edges. But the main important thing for us is to protect the product and to avoid food waste. Because if you really you want to follow the trend of sustainability and the environment and to reduce plastic and to reduce plastic packaging material, we tend to risk food waste. And food waste is also bad. Some people, they don't have money to buy food, and we are throwing our food and having food waste by not having the proper packaging material. So food waste is very important for us as a WPO. That's why we always say go to the optimum packaging design. The optimum packaging design will make will avoid under packaging, but also will prevent over packaging. And we gave you example of over packaging, that unnecessary packaging that will create minimum environmental aspect. So this is a very important slide that I really recommend that you follow it in your practices. And that's why many brand owners, whenever we talk about business, it's a continuation of development and elaboration. So they keep on changing their consumer practices to see if they can reduce packaging waste without affecting the food waste, and also to innovate and promote as much as they can their packaging. Another trend that is also important after COVID is the mental well-being. We were discussing about the mental support and the emotional support. People after COVID, they want to relax. They want to relax, they want to sit and focus on their emotional well-being. And that's why we have now many new products that did not exist before COVID. And as we say, packaging is one way to communicate this message. So your packaging should communicate this. I will give you an example. These kind of beverages, good rest, good sleep. So also it's a kind of product that promote the well-being, but the packaging itself should be designed in a way to give this kind of, for example, here you can see pastel colors, the design, it's relaxing. Another example, sleep well, relax. So mental well-being and emotional well-being are very important trend also after COVID. One of the most also important issue, COVID was what? It was a health issue. So after COVID, people make their health a top priority. Healthy lifestyle, healthy product, to avoid additives, to avoid artificial colors or artificial flavors. So also, if you go to have this kind of brand, you need your packaging to convey this message, and we will give here some example as well. So here, even the brood is now the bira. I forgot what we said in English. So even the beer now is becoming in a can to make it more also the design, the vitamins, all of this. So people are more and more looking to buy product that will promote their health and to avoid product that will harm their health. So here also with the chips, but people now go for zucchini chips, for aubergine chips, for apple chips. I keep on the potato chips. Whenever I want to make myself happy, I prefer to go for the potato chip, but this is a trend now. Even from beans, they are having chips. Even pure egg. So the design of this healthy product, the packaging visual design, should reflect the healthy style that some people want to adopt. I like this example a lot because it's a British brand. It's called Innocent. Innocent. Innocent from what? Innocent from additive or from preservative. And even the design of it's like, this emoji, it's like a kind of an angel or something. So it's really reflecting the healthy well-being of this brand. Also another, I'm sure you know the RX bar. The way they display the list of ingredients in a way direct to the point, all the ingredients are listed. So this is also a very smart design. They are telling me that time is over. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and we are here if you need other kind of information from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, Speedy. Okay, we are enjoying for your presentation. Okay, but maybe next time, okay, you can know more about details for these topics from Soha. Thank you very much, Soha, for your information for these topics about the post-COVID packaging trends that everyone enjoy for the presentation already, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the last presentation, which is under the topic sustainability in packaging. So I would like to welcome you all to have a seat and enjoy our presentation for the next. Please allow me to read a brief biography to next speaker. Mrs. Luciana Pellegrino, Senior Vice President for Marketing World Packaging Organization, or WPO. Mrs. Luciana Pellegrino connected to the packaging industry since 1996 when invited for an internship experience at Bryce Corporation USA. Luciana Pellegrino is the first woman elected to assume the World Packaging Organization presidency commencing in 2024. She has more than 26 years of experience as the managing director of the most important packaging association in Brazil and one of the key one in Latin America, ABRE, Brazilian Packaging Association. She also has more than 20 years of experience involved in WPO and in 2009 created the vice president's role, taking over the marketing one. Her most recent assignment in WPO was as Senior Vice President of Marketing, a role that she will keep until November 2023. So she is very good. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, now please give me a welcome, Mrs. Luciana Pellegrino.
Thank you so much.
Ka.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So good afternoon to all of you. It's very nice to visit Thailand. It's my first time over here. I got here yesterday and I'm already really delighted with this country. So Soha brought us some insights about sustainability, and I would like to go further and discuss packaging circularity and sustainability with you. It's really a key topic for our industry, and I think it's very important that each one of you can support us on spreading the message on how we can build a more sustainable packaging industry. So very quickly from myself, so I come from Brazil. This is our office in Brazil from the Brazilian Packaging Association. As we call it, it's the house of ABRE. ABRE is how we call our association. And this is my team in Brazil, a very nice team. And we have, of course, some packaging samples that we bring from all over the world. The idea is to inspire the packaging professionals in Brazil about global trends. Also, before starting my presentation, I would like to invite you to come closer to WPO and to follow us in social media. So we have WPO at LinkedIn, at Facebook, also at Instagram. And the idea is that we share what is going on all over the globe in the packaging industry. WPO gathers 61 member countries, and we have more than 90 associations belonging to us. And the idea is that we build a global voice towards packaging. So we want to make our voice going further, building references regarding packaging. We also promote a global strategic networking. We are also focusing on building references on packaging and fostering packaging collaboration. So how can all of you join WPO? You can access our website and join us on sharing, accessing all the information we have available, like webinars, like position papers, guidelines on sustainability. So we have many information available to all of you, so please make use of it. So coming now to my topic, to packaging and sustainability. The idea today is that we discussed that it's time to make sustainability systemic. Soha brought us this vision that we should approach packaging sustainability from an holistic point of view. And I would like to go further and bring you this understanding that we can only move on in sustainability if it's a systemic approach. So I would like to talk to you about packaging driving sustainability in society, how we can make it more systemic, and of course, how we can engage consumers. So let's go. Well, when we talk about packaging trends, when we talk about developing new packaging solutions, sustainability is most of the time there. We can see at the World Star Awards, as we have here some references, that many packaging and that innovation in packaging is being driven all over the world based on sustainability. And you can see every solution going on. So inks that are water-based or processing solutions that are solventless. You can see some bottles that use no label, so they are saving materials. We see the paper flex pouch as well. 100% recyclable packaging, and different awards that we see out there in the market, for example, the Sustainability Awards. Every year they show us that packaging innovation is being driven by sustainability aspects. But what is our challenging? If we are focusing only on packaging sustainability, we are having a very limited, result and impact. So I would like to invite you to discuss with me how we can drive packaging innovation in such a way that the consumption chain can be more sustainable. So it's not only packaging itself, but it's about the product that is reaching society. And why that is so important? It's because the impact in the environment is growing. In 1992, we had this UN conference in Rio, in Brazil, and we were already talking about waste and how we were so concerned about the amount of waste that we are producing as a society. Later on in Bali, in 2007, we also were aware about the climate change. It became a very important issue in our society because it's changing the environment and it's affecting our way of living. And nowadays, we can say that this wave we are living now, it's focusing on the climate change and it's focusing on waste as well. So how can the packaging industry support to address both impacts? What we saw in Japan, we were there for Tokyo Pack last October, November, and what we saw over there is that the packaging industry is already addressing some packaging solutions that will reduce the CO2 emissions. So it's already there. We see different solutions talking about this carbon footprint. And other examples are out there. I come from Brazil, and Brazil is known as well for producing the green polyethylene that comes from the sugar cane and not from the naphtha, for example. So it's also offsetting some carbon, and so many other solutions that are there. So CO2 emissions is something that we can prevent by packaging production systems, by using renewable energy. We see lots of plants, factories using renewable energy to offset carbon footprint. Also, you can have like efficient in logistics and so on. So this is something we can address in a very effective way. But when it comes to waste, that is a huge challenge we have as a packaging industry. So as you know, for so many years now, we have been producing, consuming, and disposing in a linear way. So that means that we withdraw raw material, we produce something, when we consume it, we just throw it away. And that's not possible anymore because we are generating too much waste that is just disposed somewhere. And at the same time, we are using too much material and resources. So that's why we came to this understanding that it's time to change the way we produce, consume, and dispose. Not to have a linear process, but to make it circular. That means that the material will come back to the production and we will use it again and again. So we are preventing waste and we are preventing the use of new raw material as well. So this is a driver to our society. And how can we make it happen in the consumption chain? I would tell you that there are 4 pillars, 4 drivers to work on packaging circularity. But what calls our attention is that only 12% of packaging converters really have an agenda on how to drive packaging sustainability and circularity. It's a very low number. So the idea of WPO is that we spread this message to engage the packaging industry in circular solutions. And which are those solutions? The solutions or the drivers for packaging circularity are durability, and that can be applied to any product. For example, a mobile phone, a washing machine. It should last longer. It shouldn't be like disposable that you use the telephone for 2 years and then you have to dispose of it, or the washing machine. And also for packaging, products should last longer. Also, when it comes to circularity, we could shift some products to a service, and I will show you some examples. Another driver is the possibility to reuse that product or material in another industrial process. And the 4th driver, so it's not the first one, pay attention, it's just the 4th driver, would be to recycle it. And why it's just the 4th driver? Because as Sohat said, there is an impact in recycling. But anyhow, it's better to recycle something than just to dispose of it. So let's see some ideas on how to apply it. So the first example I would like to bring you is about how we can make packaging last longer or be used longer. And why that is so important. The UN has just released a report. You can find it in the internet. If you just Google turning off the tap, you will find this report. And what the UN is telling us is that we should prioritize reusable packaging. If we do that, we can save 30% of impact, because then you keep this material in the loop and being reused by consumers. And how we see that going on in the packaging industry? So refill is a good solution. Because this packaging, for example, is the one that is using more material. It's a heavier packaging. It has functionality on how to use it. So it can be reused many times. When you fill it with a pouch that is very light, is using less material, and then of course if you dispose of it, you have less material disposal than if you dispose the main packaging. That is a challenge when it comes to consumer accepting this kind of pouch and refilling pouch. So what I want to mean, in Brazil, for example, we were not used to refill products. We were not used to having a stamped pouch with a liquid product. We just got used to it during pandemic, that we had to buy so many soaps and so many products that we started to buy refill products. But in Argentina, that is our neighbor country, they were already used to it. So this is a challenge from the industry, from brands. They want to change how they offer products to consumer. They want to offer a different solution, but they need the consumer to want it as well, to accept it. But anyhow, we have to push new solutions to consumers. And how we can push these solutions, how we can change consumer behaviors, we have to make it attractive. You know that in Brazil, we like to say that it cannot be eco-boring. It should be eco-attractive. I mean, you have to make it in such a way that it's somehow functional, that it's somehow helping consumers to refill the bottle, or even to recognize that this refill refers to this product, for example. So if you want to change consumer behaviors, you have to enchant consumers. Some more examples here. Oh, sorry about that. So also, we have to explain consumers why we are changing, why we are offering a different solutions. So right now, just now in Brazil, we are tackling some brands that are really using packaging to explain consumers which is the impact that this packaging solution is offering, why it's a good solution, and why consumers should change their consumption habits. And also, what we saw in Japan is that the reusable packaging solutions are moving forward and really making it's really attractive to consumers, or bringing different solutions, even using accepted carton solutions and so on. So we are trying to change the consumption habits by making it more beautiful, by making it looking different. And what we see is that the reusable system is being adopted by luxury brands. So everyone is trying to find a solution to engage consumers on reusable solutions. Even very nice brands are doing it. And even different segments. So the makeup segment is also trying to find a way how they can offer consumers a reusable packaging. So you see makeups, lipsticks, different products for the face, and so on. So all those ideas are very important to make sure that we can reduce in 30% the amount of packaging that is going to be disposed. Here another example in the tomato sauce industry. There are many types of tomato sauces in Brazil. So you can reuse this jar, for example. You can reuse this glass, this cup, for example. And now this one, that is a plastic one. You can easily remove the label. So it has a laser cut So it's meant to be reused by consumers. And once I was in my farm that is really in the central east of Brazil. It's an area that's very far from the city. And I was very happy to see over there that they are really reusing this packaging. So you see, I mean, if we offer consumers something that is meant to be reused and it's functional when reusing it, consumers will reuse that packaging. And of course, reusability can bring us business opportunities. We can see that you can innovate, you can bring a new business model by offering consumers a solution that they can reuse their packaging when refilling the product in the store. So it's another way to offer reusability. And of course, every solution will bring a new solution to consumer and will try to engage consumer in this new business model. And here we see in Europe as well, the refillable packaging in the supermarket is growing each time more because that's the way we can reduce packaging waste. This case is in Chile. So what they have done, this is a startup in Chile called Algramo. They have a truck and they go around the city and they offer the opportunity for consumers to refill some products over there. So it's a very nice startup. It's a very nice business case. And it's nice to see that sometimes a big company cannot innovate, they don't find a way, but then there comes a startup and finds a solution on how to offer convenience to consumers that want to be more sustainable. And also here, another case, the household industry. They are really trying to find a way to go circular. So we see also different brands trying to find new technologies and packaging technologies and solutions that will guarantee that consumers will refill the bottle in the best way. So also that one is from Brazil, from a startup, and this is a multinational one from Unilever. Here, another one from Brazil, the Hackett. So different solutions. But what is the key point about this one? They are moving in a very isolated way. So each company is trying to find its own technology. And tomorrow I want to discuss with you, when we are talking about global trends, that going alone, it's more difficult. It would be much easier for them if they were collaborating and exploring one single technology that all of them could use. But anyhow, they are trying to change the way consumers buy household products. This is the second business case. It's when we transform a product in a service. So also what is going on, and we see, for example, the laundry brands like Omo, that is a global brand for Unilever, or even Ariel, that is a global laundry brand from P&G. They are offering now to consumers the service of washing their clothes. So you don't have to buy the product itself, you can have the product as a service. And that can happen in different areas. So especially with the technology that we have in place nowadays, perhaps we can have different solutions that will offer consumer an alternative. Instead of buying that product and using more packaging when buying that product, they can refill that product somehow using an app, using technology, like a signature program or a different solution. So those are new models that we should foster in order to have a more sustainable consumption chain. And then you can tell me, Luciana, but you represent the packaging industry and you are telling that we should have models that will replace packaging. And yes, we have to be smarter in the way you use packaging. When it's possible to offset and bring a service and serve consumers in a more sustainable way, we should focus on that service. But that requires infrastructure. If we want consumers to have a more sustainable habits, we need infrastructure there. So this is what caught my attention last time I visited Vienna in Austria. In the city center, you can find water disposals that you can refill your bottle. So they are telling consumers, don't buy another bottled water, you can refill yours over here. So in terms of when we want to change consumer behaviors, we have to offer them the infrastructure as well. The third business model is about reusability in industrial systems. I believe that in many countries, you already have, in some segments, like the beer segment, returnable bottles. In Brazil, it's very popular. When it comes to big bottles of beers, the ones you buy like in a bar or in a restaurant, they are already returnable. So they go back to the company, they are washed, and then they refill and distribute it again. So what is changing in this aspect? What is changing is now that we are having in Brazil long neck, returnable long neck, so it's the shorter beer that is being used in a very high volume by consumers. Now they are going from being disposable and recyclable for sure, but just disposable, to also being returnable. So you can return it and they will refill it. But also another new technology we have in Brazil is a PET returnable bottle. You can use this PET bottle 12 times. I mean, not yours, but Coca-Cola, for example. And this is so important for them to have this PET returnable bottle to reduce the waste that they made all of the bottles looking the same. So previously, Coca-Cola had one specific shape for the Coca-Cola bottle. It's the one that anyone can recognize. And now they have the same bottle just to make sure that it's a returnable one and they reduce waste. And this is what we have seen from Coca-Cola. I think that there are like 5 big brands they really are driving sustainability in the consumption chain. And one of them that is leading this process is Coca-Cola. They are telling you that if you are not going to recycle, please don't buy it. So they are really telling consumers, if you want to drink my Coke, you have to support me to be sustainable. You have to recycle this packaging. And why Coca-Cola is doing that? I have to tell you, this is this SGE agenda. They are seeing that if they don't drive packaging circularity, their business is on risk. They may have stronger regulation, more taxes, and even a very bad perception from consumers. So when we say that SGE is an agenda for business, it's because if they don't mitigate, if they don't drive a more sustainable business, their business will be affected by new regulations, by new taxes, and so on. So Coke has already realized that, so they are really trying to engage consumers to make sure they can have a circular business model going on. And then the last driver for circularity is about recyclability. And then I take this opportunity to share with you this guideline WPO has published. We have it in different languages, in 10 different languages. It's a public guide. You can download it from WPO's website. And it brings you all this information, which kind of materials you can combine, which kind of materials you shouldn't combine to make sure your packaging is recyclable. In Thai, we have it in Thai. I believe we have it on the table. So if you want to grab one, please feel free. Oh, it's over there. Yes, it's for distribution. It's really for free. Please take one. And it's a very nice guide to help you to design your packaging for recyclability. And it's because recyclability is a key aspect. Nowadays, we have recycled materials looking like premium materials. So all these examples show us recycled packaging that look like a brand new one. So technology has evolved so much that recycling materials, they look just premium just as any other material. And we see recycling solutions in different segments, so all of them using like 100% or sometimes a little bit less percent of recycled material. But what I want to show you is that the technology is evolving a lot. So we have to make sure that we make it grow more and more so that we have circular materials in this market. And we are going further. This product line from Unilever, for example, it's not only using recycled content, but it has a purpose behind it. The entire product and the substrates, it's a sustainable, brings a sustainable approach. So it helps us to use recycled packaging together with a more organic and sustainable product as well. Very nice case as well in Brazil. As we know, recycling mechanically flexible films is something very difficult. And what Unilever has done in Brazil, they are producing lids made of recycled films. So again, the technology is there, we should improve it, and we have more solutions to reuse packaging materials. And then we go also to this concept about recycle ready. So Recycle Ready is bringing new packaging technology. Soha tackled a little bit about this. So what we see as a new trend is having 100% PP or 100% PE or even a flexible paper material because they are flexible, they are recyclable ready. But what you have to make sure is that if you are adopting a monomaterial film for your product, make sure you are not losing barrier. Make sure you are not going to lose your product. In humid areas like Thailand or even Brazil, Brazil is a very humid country, not having a proper barrier may cause that you lose the product itself. So even though you want to be recycle ready, you have to make sure that you won't lose the product itself. But it's there. You see like new paper flexible materials being used in different countries as well. And this technology is growing slowly. So there are some special coatings, and that's the point here. They are using special coatings, but to make sure they are recycle ready solutions. This one is a mono PE film, so also again, a mono-layer material to make sure it's recyclable and it's recycle ready. But pay attention what they have done here. This is a winning packaging from the World Star, from the sustainable, from the PIA, another international award. And this pouch won this award not because it's a mono-layer pouch, but it won the award because they understood how they could guarantee that it would be recycled. So it's not about only being recyclable, but it's can we really make sure it's going to be recycled? So what they understood, this case is from Australia, from where Pierre is. What they did is the following. They understood that in the recycling stream, they needed this packaging to be recognized by the laser system. And to be recognized, it should have a three-dimensional structure. It couldn't be flat, because otherwise the system wouldn't recognize it. They needed it to have some volume. So they sell this pouch with this sticker, and then the consumer has to make a roll, put the sticker and throw it to recycling. And with this, it's going to be recognized by the laser system, and then it's going to be separated for recycling. So it's intentional. It's not only recycle ready, but it's making sure it can go through the recycling stream. And that's what I really would like to share with you. If we want to make sure, we have to put intentionality. We have to understand the entire recycling system to make sure the packaging will be recycled at the end. Again, and also you have to make it easy. You have to communicate to consumers how to reuse, how to recycle. And many times as brands, as packaging industry, we fail to communicate to consumers. We don't communicate well. But we have to make it easy and we have to make it friendly in order to engage consumers in the recycling system. But there is this second topic I would like to address with you, that it's about the sustainability in society. Because it's not only about the packaging being sustainable. Let me show you something. It's not only about sustainability in packaging. This is so limited. It's important, but it's limited. It's also about having sustainable consumption chains. But we must go further. We must have a sustainable society. And in order to have a sustainable society, we have to engage different bodies, not only the packaging industry. And why that is so important? Even though I shared with you so many cases of recycled packaging, nowadays we are recycling only 14% of everything we throw away. Only 2% are being really circular. So this is nothing. We have to increase each time more. So the idea is that we make, oops, I'm going the wrong way. The idea is that we make it more systemic and that we can have the municipalities supporting us on recyclability. And why we have this challenge? Because the global population is growing so fast. In 1900, we had only 1.6 billion people in the world. Now we have more than 8 billion people. So consumption is growing, the disposal is growing, and cities as Bangkok or as São Paulo, they have not improved the waste management. So we need them to improve the waste management systems so that our society can be more sustainable. The world population will grow even more. You can see from this graphic, it's even growing. So we can see from here that consumption will grow more, disposal will grow more, and that's why we have to drive sustainability. So we have to make it systemic, and we have to push systemic solutions for efficient waste management and packaging selective collection. How can we do that? We can engage different actors that are responsible for the recycling systems. So how can we push and engage recycling cooperatives, the middlemen, recyclers, and municipalities? It's key we work together with all of them to make sure we push a systemic recycling approach. And from this book, I'm reading this book right now, and it brings solutions to very complex problems. And what they suggest us that I wanted to share with you, a way to drive sustainability in the cities is that we could learn from the positive examples. Which are the cities that have a good waste management program, a good recycling program? We should learn from the successful cases, understand the drivers, and then try to multiplicate them. So it's not really finding a difficult solution to just to this complex challenge we have, but really trying to find the good examples and explore them. And then really drive sustainability within our society. But last but not least, I want to talk about engaging consumers. We do have to bring consumers on board. How they are disposing packaging, how they can use refill packaging. We have to talk to them about sustainability. And then I'll share with you this program we have launched in Brazil just 10 days ago. It's a brand new program. But the idea is that we have a QR code in the packaging, and through this QR code, we can bring more information to consumers about the product itself and about how to dispose of that product. So I share it with you as an example that you can implement in your country. The idea is that you bring consumer easy information on how to dispose of for recycling, and you help them to be a part of the recycling system. So yes, that's the idea for today, for sharing this case. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Also beautiful and very good speech from Luciana Pellegrino Senior, Vice President for Marketing World Packaging Organization. Okay, please give a big round of applause for her again. Thank you for our speakers for today's seminar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the next. So anyone, if you have any question to ask our President of WPO, so you can ask him by yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the Q&A or discussion session over here for about 30 minutes. May I turn the stage to Professor Pierre PNR, the moderator or the President of World Packaging Organization. Please give a big round of applause. ค่ะขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับนะคะประธานของ WPO ด้วยค่ะ
Thank you. Are there any questions? I don't want to keep people who need to go. Are there any questions for Luciana or for Soha or for myself? Keep it simple. Wonderful. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Thank you.
Is that yours? Thank you. Is that yours?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. And once again, to thank you everyone for participating for this mini seminar for the innovative stage over here by WPO in Propag Asia 2023 right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally come to the end part of innovation stage for day one. And on behalf of the organizer, I would like to thank you all speakers or distinguished speakers and for you all participating esteemed guests today. Thank you very much. And tomorrow we have the seminar with the many kinds of topics and very interesting topics. Tomorrow, all right, so everyone can come here and enjoy for the seminar. And we have many speakers for tomorrow, start from 10 p.m. until 5 p.m. Okay, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for tomorrow. And so, ladies and gentlemen, for this Propag Asia 2023, our seminar will have many speakers around the world about the packaging information or about the details of in-trend packaging and so on. I would like to welcome you all to have a seat right here every day for our event. And of course, we have the seminar at foyer hall number 98. Everyone can come here to visit. All right, see you tomorrow for the seminar. Thank you very much and have a safe trip home. นะคะขอบคุณทุกท่านมากนะคะเดี๋ยวเจอกันใหม่ในวันพรุ่งนี้ See you tomorrow at 10. Thank you.